This is Dave Cullen with a special installment on my series for young journalists. Something disturbing happened on the Today Show today, which I think can be really useful for young journalists and journalism students. And I'm going to give you a quick setup, which is that this involves the mudslides in California, and the victim in this case has been sad but okay until this point in the interview. Let's take a look and then talk about it.
And you can see by the pictures
the
we're
water
looking
was
at.
rising fast.
Right, you lived in that house for 18 years once the mud settled, and you were able to get a look inside your house. Can you tell us what it was like for you to see your home and your belongings in that condition?
It's devastating. We have nothing left. That's all we have. And now we don't even have flood insurance, so we typically got nothing.
And I know that money has been tight for your family this year, Karen. You just had gotten all of your Christmas presents under the Christmas tree. How do you plan on trying to reclaim part of the holidays? What's your way forward at this point?
We don't have anything. I don't have anything planned. We have nothing. We scraped up what we could for the kids, and now all that is gone.
I know you checked with your insurance company. You said your insurance company will not cover you for this time.
Okay, how could the reporter have handled that differently? What could she have said? Almost anything in response to what you just heard. She could have said, wow, or I'm sorry. She could have paused, or a heavy sigh. Basically, whatever, when you're in that situation, whatever the thought is in your head, if you're thinking, my God, I don't even know how to respond to that, you can say, my God, I don't even know how to respond to that. Whatever is in a sincere response, as long as it is a response. What the reporter did there was went on to the next question. And you can see that she's actually looking at her notes, she's reading to see what the next question is, and then she does that again the next time. A woman has just broken down in front of her and completely lost it suddenly and clearly unexpectedly to one question after she'd been fine to that point in the interview. At that point, you need to let your to-do list go and don't try to check off the next thing. The rest of the series of questions that you thought were important for that interview aren't that important. No one needs to know all the particulars about the situation. That's not why they're watching anyway. What they need to do is see another human being react like a human being to the situation. And that's what this victim needed in that situation, is somebody to respond to her. There is a time when you need to stop trying to articulate the most intelligent thought and convey some meaningful emotion. And I'm definitely not an anti-intellectual here. I'm all about, smart, insightful interviews and getting to the heart of things and asking meaningful questions and not having it just be about emotion. But when somebody breaks down, you gotta let that shit go. You have to deal with them. And the email I got this week was from a woman who's a major a senior in college, and her first freelance assignment ever as a journalist is to go out and interview the parents of kids who've recently been killed. And she's afraid that she's not been in a situation like that before, and she doesn't know what to do. Hopefully this is instructive, because it's not going to get any worse than that. Usually victims won't break down like that, even if they've had something worse, like their child has died. They do tend to hold it together. But when they don't, please don't think you've never been in that situation, because I will bet you have. Presumably by now you've been to at least one or two funerals or wakes in your life. And if not that, you know, a girlfriend or any kind of friend who's just broken up with their boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife, the dog died, a parent rushed to the hospital, any traumatic situation where you've interacted with another human being. And what I have found in those situations is one thread that really runs through them is when you try to tell the person something that they need to hear. And when you don't have any words, and when I've told any person, I wish I knew what to say, I don't know what to say. Those kind of thoughts are good to articulate, because what I've always heard back is, you don't need to, but it helps that that I know you tried. And that's all the person in that situation needs to know, is that you tried. This reporter, she can't solve this woman's problems. When you're in any situation interviewing, you're not gonna solve it for the person, and they're not expecting you to. That's not your job. Your job is to get information, but it's also to treat them humanely, and it's to, I almost hate using this phrase that I always use, is to have a conversation. But I tell people to it's not about interviewing, and it's not about feeling like you're asking questions. It's about having a conversation, talking back and forth like real people. And even though the word conversation may seem a little light here, it's important, because that's what we do when we're having an authentic conversation with a person. If we're talking and the person suddenly falls apart in front of our eyes, we say, what's going on? What's happening? Are you okay? We try to deal with them. So that's what you need to do in your job. And as a reporter, you're not their friend, but for a few moments, you need to be a human being, and it's easier if you realize that your job is to take yourself back to the place where you have been somebody's friend, and for a few moments do what you would have been, what you would have done with that person if you were a friend. So I'm going to write more about this. If you go to davecullen.com, click on the Read tab, and then under that, Advice for Writers, I'll have more about this. I hope it's been helpful for you in this situation. Please do not post anything nasty on the web about this particular reporter. I've seen her in other situations. She does a good job. It's about learning from it, and hopefully you've learned something. Thanks.